Tell them I got a lot going wrong, but I got one thing going for me. If you know that's right, give God an hand clap of praise. I got one thing going for me. Ladies and gentlemen, it's hard to know what's real anymore. The present misrepresentation of the truth is staggering, where the truth is becoming a harder commodity to come by, and falsity seems to be the order of the day. Even when you're dealing with people, you don't know who's real, and you don't know who's living a lie. We're living in an hour where you have injections in lips, body magic on hips, weaves in heads, in drag, handbags falsified, jewelry dipped, eyes behind colored contacts, cars with no homes, churches claiming the anointing with no manifestation. It's hard to find what's real in an era when so much is fake. The truth, ladies and gentlemen, is the state of being without any contradiction. Truth is a body of real things, real events, and real facts. The truth is substituted in its translation of the word faithfulness. It is amazing that the scribers of the Holy Writ interchangeably use faithful with truth. And in the Old Testament, 92 times where there was the word faithful, they changed it to the word truth. In other words, ladies and gentlemen, somebody who is unfaithful is a lie. And somebody who is able to maintain faithfulness is somebody who walks in the truth. John chapter 8 verse number 32 says, "You shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free." To deal with deductive reasoning then, if the truth sets you free, it is a lie that has you in bondage. So people who are in bondage to addiction, in bondage to an abusive relationship, and bondage to a cycle of behavior, are in bondage to the lie of who they think they are, because they do not know the truth of who they were born to be. In epistemology, there is a criteria for truth. In order for you to ascertain or to gain what truth is, there must be a standard for truth, so that I can differentiate and distinguish, discern the difference between the lie and the truth. A lot of people never get to the truth because they lose the pursuit of truth on the road of emotion. So they believe the truth based off of a feeling. But you cannot go based off of a feeling, because feelings will mess you up. You cannot, ladies and gentlemen, find truth based off of general consensus. Because if you think that the truth is what everybody believes, you're going to find yourself wrong. Might I remind you that there was a time that the whole earth believed that the planet was flat. If we go based off of general consensus, you will never find the truth. The truth, ladies and gentlemen, rarely is self-apparent. The truth has to be proven through analysis. You cannot just meet somebody and expect them to trust you, because I can only trust you based off of experience. Therefore, my relationship with God can never be built off what the preacher told me. The relationship with God can only be evidenced based off of my own personal experience. You learn the truth through an analysis of an understanding of an experience. Water, we believe, through the 8th grade, reaches a boiling point. But even if the scientist or the biology teacher teaches that water reaches a boiling point, it can only be proven through an experiment. And the experiment is the evidence that the theory has been confirmed. But even if you do not like the scientist or the teacher, if the teacher or the scientist walks out of the laboratory or the classroom to proof text that it is true, I should be able to replicate the experiment without the professor being present. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, the evolution of the revelation of who I am in God ought to be effectual when the preacher's not around. If I need the preacher to be present, then it is not true. But I've got to find out when the preacher is not there, whether what he expounded to me on a Sunday morning is true, because I went through an experiment. The experiment, therefore, is my experience. So when I have had an experience, I had my own experiment. Therefore, if somebody walks in and tries to question the validity of my faith, it is not then in theory based off of anything that I read. I can proof text it because I am a living testimony that I have personal experience that who I say God is true. Jonathan Doheny, a leading authority in philosophy, says in order for us to gain truth, you have to have 3 different things. The first thing that you have to have is evidence of the senses. My eyes have to see something. My ears have to hear something. My nose has to smell something, or my mouth has to taste something. Secondly, Jonathan argues, is that the evidence is of rational thought. That my mind has got to be able to comprehend the argument at a level that it is digestible. Therefore, it has got to be reasonable and rational for me. Thirdly, the evidence of the truth is, in fact, only validated through an expert testimony. That it has to, in fact, find itself legitimized by somebody who we can believe the truth from. I cannot then take the testimony of a shaky witness, because if in fact they have a pattern of telling the lie, then I cannot believe what it is that they